much, Tolu. That was really beautiful. Next up, we have Loretta.
Before I begin, I want to thank Tolu, has been such a light in our program, and I'm just so thankful to go after you. Abananis, ladies and gentlemen, can I hear that word? Abananis spoke back into me in 3, 2, 1. Didn't hear it over there. 3, 2, 1. Abananis. Congratulations, you guys learned a bad word in my language. All jokes aside, you guys all said good morning or welcoming the sun, but I feel like it's afternoon now, so. Sitso Zi, Loretta Jeff, Sajko Dini Nesklin, Tesco Batlenko Disney, Sutton Martina Jeff, Sutton Sue Helena Grambush, and Sietsui Atwell Jeff Heinley. I'm from a nation that holds Aboriginal title. On June 26 in 2014, for the first time in Canadian history, the Supreme Court of Canada had declared that the Sajkoti National Government has Aboriginal title on a portion of the territory known as Hanigudin. This decision allowed for full ownership, benefit, and control of the Aboriginal title area by the Sajkotin people. As a proud Sajkotin from Tlesko First Nations, this project reflects my personal commitment to advancing sovereignty and the well-being of my people. Growing up in a rural Indigenous community, I've seen firsthand how the lack of infrastructure limits opportunities. And as a mom to a young daughter, my daughter Nielzi and Haya, I'm determined to change that for her future. Our nation's landmark victory in securing Aboriginal title was a major step forward, but it's just not enough. We need to continue to fight for our digital sovereignty, ensuring that our community have access to reliable internet and the resources to control and protect our own data and digital spaces. For me, this policy is not just professional, it's also personal. I want to secure a future for my daughter and others like her to be able to walk in a traditional world, but also walk alongside with the modern digital world. My project envisions a future where Indigenous communities have complete control over their digital infrastructure, control over their resilient and creating strong communities for this future. Our youth can access online education, our elders can receive healthcare remotely, and our cultural knowledge is preserved and shared through digital platforms. It's a future where Indigenous peoples and nations can thrive both on our land while being in the digital divide. Asserting sovereignty over all of our spaces. I ask you all today to envision yourself with your ancestors. I ask you all today to envision yourself listening to your ancestors. I ask you all today to envision smelling the food of your traditional ancestors. I ask you to envision yourself because this is where I want to go with my policy development. I want to be able to have our culture, to have our language, to have our culture traditions, and at the same time be on the land. I want my daughter to be able to go to school, but can still listen to her at sea speak the language, whereas I had to leave and I didn't have that privilege. To even be here today, I had to leave behind my elders and my ancestors to be able to get the education to bring back for them. When I do this and when I envision myself, I picture myself at home in a territory called Nagwanklet, also in the Sajkotin territory. I'm surrounded by Mayatsus and Mayatsis, and I picture them storytelling or cutting up a shui by the river. Some of my policy recommendations to bridge the digital divide includes being targeted and increased funding being prioritized by the government. This ensuring that remote areas have long-term maintenance of infrastructure. Collaboration is key. Governments and private partners and Indigenous leaders have to work together to create coordinated plans that meet the specific needs of each community. Meaning consultation with Indigenous peoples and leaders is crucial to ensure that we are relevant and sustainable in our digital sovereignty. We also must prioritize ensuring Indigenous communities have control over their data and over their own Indigenous spaces. I'm advocating for equal broadband infrastructure development to empower not only the Sajkoti Nation, but all Indigenous communities in British Columbia, bridging the divide and supporting digital sovereignty. But broadband infrastructure isn't just about access, it's about justice, it's about empowerment, it's about education, it's about social services, and it's about having a voice for our own future. For communities like the Sajkoti Nation, having broadband infrastructure means having the tools to strengthen governance, protect our lands, and manage resources with modern solutions while honoring our traditional knowledge. Digital sovereignty, where Indigenous nations control their own digital data, their own digital spaces, is a crucial part of self-determination, stronger connectivity, support these goals by helping to ensure that Indigenous communities thrive in the digital age and that Indigenous voices are heard on this digital platform. I say let's indigenalize our future. So Chanel.
Thank you so much, Loretta. And next up,